Can one form of the Catholic Mass be described as only a temporary step in someone's faith journey? Can Catholics be discouraged from inviting others to attend the traditional Latin Mass? And why has one parish bulletin sparked so much discussion across the Catholic world? Those are the questions now being raised after a message from a parish priest in Wisconsin. Father Paul Fliss, pastor of Saints Cyril and Methodius Parish in Sheboygan, recently published a pastoral message in the parish bulletin about the traditional Latin Mass, also known as the TLM. His parish hosts Latin Masses celebrated by priests of the Institute of Christ the King Sovereign Priest, often called the ICKSP. In the message, Father Fliss described the traditional Latin Mass as an accommodation. According to him, it is permitted for Catholics who have not grown deep enough in faith to accept the Mass approved after the Second Vatican Council. He also stated that the traditional Latin Mass does not share the equal status and dignity of the Mass of Pope Paul VI, commonly known as the Novus Ordo. Father Fliss went on to explain what he believes should happen over time. He expressed hope that, through God's grace, those attending the traditional Latin Mass would eventually move beyond what he called dependence on the older form and fully join the rest of the Church in celebrating Mass in the vernacular. His message did not stop there. Father Fliss also wrote that members of the Latin Mass community should not advertise their Masses. He further stated that they should not invite other Catholics to attend. He asked, "Why would someone want to take a step backward in their faith and spiritual life?" Those remarks quickly drew attention and prompted discussion among many Catholics, especially those who regularly attend the traditional Latin Mass. Another point of debate concerns the historical place of the older liturgy. Some scholars of Catholic liturgy have argued that older liturgical traditions deserve particular respect because they have developed and been preserved over many centuries. Liturgist Dr. Peter Kwasniewski has expressed this principle by saying that the longer a tradition has existed, the greater the confidence that it has proven spiritually beneficial, fitting, and faithful to Catholic worship. Questions have also been raised about Pope St. Pius V's Apostolic Constitution Quo Primum, issued after the Council of Trent. That document permanently authorized the traditional Roman Mass and stated that it could be celebrated freely and lawfully in perpetuity without fear of penalties or censures. Some Catholics therefore argue that discouraging participation in the traditional Latin Mass appears difficult to reconcile with that historical document. Another part of Father Fliss' message also generated discussion. He claimed that all sacramental celebrations carried out by the Society of St. Pius X, or SSPX, are invalid. That statement has also been challenged by some canon lawyers. Father Gerald Murray, a well-known canon lawyer, has argued that this claim is not consistent with the Vatican's own position. He has pointed out that even after the Society's bishops were declared excommunicated years ago, the Vatican later recognized the validity of confessions and marriages celebrated under certain permissions granted by the Holy See. For that reason, Father Murray maintains that it is inaccurate to describe all SSPX sacramental celebrations as invalid. The discussion surrounding Father Fliss' bulletin highlights continuing differences of opinion about the role of the traditional Latin Mass, the interpretation of church documents, and the relationship between different Catholic communities. As conversations about the liturgy continue around the world, this latest exchange has become another example of how questions about worship, tradition, and church unity remain active topics for many Catholics today.